Hi everyone, this is Ludwig. So today we will be explaining SAOMD at the highest level and eventually be explaining how my GRE run works, or our GRE run, I guess. So first of all, let's get to Rationale's calculator, and then I guess let me find a very basic set of units. So the first thing we will be explaining is, well, I guess the buffs. Before that, let's look at, I guess, our units and the one I'm using. So we have the crossing scale user, we have me, and then we have the unit user. So as you can see, so for GRE boosting, you really need those like really good 5-star units. So Summer Yuki, FP Shino, and then the GGO VT banner was super old, but we're still using him because of the ABA switches. All right, and then let's look at, I guess, if you try playing around with the Rationale's calculator before, you will notice that a 27% attack buff does not actually give 27% damage, and then 16% attack buff does not give 16% damage. Now, why is that? Because there are additive buffs. So for SAOMD, all the attack buffs they stack up with with the other plus percent attack stuff. So normally a character, a fully equipped character has like 150% attack. Now that comes from, let's say, about 15 plus 3 plus 6 from equips, 15 leader skill, 15 character skill, and 10 from title, etc. So if you fully stack a character, you usually have above 150% attack from all of these effects. Now, if you continue to stack more attack buffs, zone buff and attack buff, so it's 16% on top of 150, and then if you continue to stack even more buffs, it's just going to give a higher base for the attack buffs. So that leads into, I guess, our comparison between buffs. Also, yeah, so you can check out Rationale's calculator, and then you can confirm that if you keep on stacking these attack buffs, they will just become less and less effective because of the higher base. And that's because all these attack buffs are additive. So they're not, they're not directly percent ratio, and then so they're not as effective. And you can also look at, I guess, let's also look at the other buffs. So crit damage buff, it's very weak, but it's 8% buff. So it's about 8% more damage, which is, I guess it doesn't feel like it's that much, but attack buff isn't, at some point, attack buff doesn't really do much either because it's only, let's say, around like 10% more damage. All right, so we have attack buff, and then I'll also put crit rate buff as the second best buff. So I believe it's about 11% more damage because we have it basically boosts your crit rate from 66% to 100%. Is just 11%, purely 11% more damage as a percentage buff. So if you think about it, it is kind of OP. All right, and I'll put zone buff last because it's kind of hard to use, but mainly because after all the stacking, zone buff isn't that effective anymore, so I'm going to put it last. And if you talk about the in-game time versus real-time thing before, you'll notice that, well, there's this relation here. So for solo play, we have in-game time, it cuts like the real-life time in 1/3. And for multiplay, accel is just less effective, but it still cuts the real life time in half. So there's that. And then we're going to be using acceleration to help boost the 5-stars because see the acceleration update, 5-stars are not slowed anymore when they receive the 6-star acceleration. So that that really makes the 5-stars a lot more flexible, and then we can spam 5-stars really hard when the 6-stars are slowing the time and also pausing the time. So you have like a lot of accessories to use with the 5-stars. All right, and then for crossing skills, the pauses are stronger, so that's really important to know because pauses they legit stop time, so of course you want them. And for how they work, so we only want one person to hold accel because the pauses cannot interrupt acceleration unless it is from the same person. So in order to get the most out of the pauses, we want just one person to be holding the acceleration. There are a few modifiers that we must observe. So the parry modifier, and you can just observe this from solo play, but just for this GRE, you do more damage when the boss is parried. So that means you want to hit your accessories on parry and when the boss is frame locked, and then you don't really want to hit any accessories off parry except for in the very beginning, which you'll see in a second. And the second modifier is the weak point modifier, so you do a ton of more damage when the boss is down. So that means for the DPS person, you want the person to save all your accessories for the downs, and then you want the person being boosted to spam as much as possible during the weak point hits. Now that is, of course, there's like a limit to how much you should spam because you need to kill the boss in order to get to the weak point phase. So there's like a balance there, but generally you do want to save more accessories for the weak point for the downs. All right, and I also gave a couple rough estimates for the modifiers. So these are just to show how powerful these modifiers are. And all right, and then so we got this out of the way. Let's continue to the actual video. All right, so in the beginning, well, I already paused this frame, but you can see that, well, we start out with a 45 combo. So that's pretty important to spam a little bit in the beginning. So that helps the first parry do a lot more damage. So you really start, you only start doing damage after around 50 combo. So that's why keeping combo is like basically the most important skill in the entire game, because you really don't do damage until you start stacking up to 50, 100, 150 combo. All right, so we got the 50 combo, and then we're gonna start spamming here. So here, I just want to get rid of MP basically off my bench. So I want to give enough room for everybody to gain MP from Yuna. All right, and then here I'm just going to spam model basically enough so that he's like low HP, and then you can look at his HP bar. It's kind of low, and then here I'm just waiting until he's going to be killed. So as you can see, I kill him with my Samuruki and FB Shino, so that's very important to note. So I'm killing it with my last few hits of my FB Shino. So my last few hits, they gain the weak point hits. And besides that, I timed, well, I guess we're timing the down perfectly during a pause. So that extends the pause time, or that extends the entire downtime by how much the pause time is. So here, as you can see, because of this maneuver that I did here, I killed it during a pause or at the beginning of a pause. I'll be able to get 4 pauses in total. So you can count the pauses. There are 4 pauses in total that I gained because we timed like the kill very perfectly. All right, and let's also focus on what I'm doing here. So I did like an ABA switch 3 times in a row. Now ABA switches are super important because they save you a lot of time. You don't really have that much time to spam. So if you use your ABA switches, you can get up to like 11 or 12 accessories on the downs. And when the boss is down, that's when you start doing damage. So you really want to start like grinding your score during the downs with ABA switches. All right, and then I also put a bullet in between the ABA switches, so that's to prevent the advanced animation skip bug. So in this case, it's actually not beneficial for me to have it. So the duration difference between Kirito and Sinon, it's like 0.5 seconds. It's enough to trigger an advanced animation skip. It's barely enough to let you actually trigger the skip. So if I spam Sinon, Kirito, Sinon, ABA switch, and then I just change Sinon, that very last Sinon will become a combo ender. Now that's due to the advanced animation skip bug. Now how to prevent it? I just plug in bullet. So I wait for Kirito to get back into his bench, basically. Now it's necessary here to basically not get stuck here with FB Shino, and then so I can chain it 3 times in a row. Alright, finally I end with Samuruki's because for phase 2 you want to Samuruki does a lot more DPM on phase 2. Alright, and finally here I messed up a little bit, as you can see. So the ideal scenario is I want to land 1 auto when he's untargetable. I want to land the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and 5th hit when he's targetable. Jump, 5 more autos, get out. So that's the ideal pattern here. I kind of messed up here, but you want to use your autos to time your movements basically. So you'll see here, I do 3 autos, back off, and I pull out a little bit. So this little pull here is very important to time your movements because the thunder does linger around for a little bit. If you want to prevent getting hit by the thunder, you don't want going too fast, but you don't want going too slow. So what you want to do here is just use movements to time how long you need to walk out. All right, so walk out a little bit and then go back in, basically. Finally, here I could do a little pause. I could ask for a pause from the cross skill user, but we relinquished it because phase 2 is not important. We don't really grind down the score for phase 2, and also the cross skill user doesn't have like full mana yet. So we're going to save that mana for later, and then we eventually run out of mana if we pause like here. So I might as well just relinquish it. For phase 3, we're going to pause off parry, and then you'll see like what that does. All right, anyways, back to here, and then everybody's parrying here. Okay, here, count your summary key SS3s. I do like 4, I think. Yeah, just do 4. Okay, and then start regenning. So you want to make sure that your run is systematic. You gotta be doing the same thing every time. Also, I had to dodge back into the zone buff or to receive the zone buff, so that was a little bit annoying. But well, I guess that's how it is. All right, and here you can see that well, I wait a little bit. Well, yeah, I wait for my guildmates to kill the boss, and here I'm just, even if I'm full mana, I'm not going to spend any of my mana. I'm just going to wait for it to get killed. And that's because I want to use all my SS3s on the downs, and I don't really want to use my SS3s to kill it. It doesn't give me a lot of score by killing it, but I get a lot of score by getting the SS3s on the downs. So I kill it, and then with my last 3 hits, also get weak point hits, and then I spam a lot. I have enough time to regen one SS3. So you can see that I messed up here. So I should have done less autos here. Like I did like 10 maybe, and then started spamming one more summary key into FP Sinon. So that was a mistake here. I should have just done like 5 or 8 maybe. All right, and now we're finally on to phase 3. So I should have been on the left side, but whatever. So you can see that we use the pauses off parry. That gives me a lot more time to regen. All right, and one mistake here was I didn't press Kirito. So I should have done Kirito into FP Sinon because my Kirito mana does overflow later on. Now, it will bite me later because you'll see that the boss will be hard to kill because it didn't use that Kirito. But it's not a big deal. So I think I just wanted to play safe here, so I didn't use Kirito because I'm not really sure if I can get like 3 Kiritos on downs or not. All right, and also check out this frame lock here. So Saf did Yuki into Kirito into Yu-Gi-Oh! And now so she's on Yu-Gi-Oh! And you can see that it didn't frame lock. So that's just because Kirito doesn't frame lock. Now that is normal. So some 6-stars they just don't frame lock in multiplay. Their frame lock is just really weak. So we have to kind of have to like trial and error and see like how the frame lock is for each character. All right, and here I'm just going to regen. I'm just going to wait until it's down. So the HP is a bit high on him, so after I do summary key into FP Sinon, it just barely kills him. So that was because I didn't do the Kirito earlier. Now, unfortunately, that means I'm only getting like 10 SS3s on downs or less than that. But I'll do the same thing. I'll just ABA 3 times in a row. And then here I mess up it's not really mess up. It's just really hard to get the advanced animation skip. But it is possible. It's just really hard, and I didn't have enough mana at FP Sinon anyways. So that was the unit user's fault, Theo's fault for not giving me enough mana. But it is viable here, and my best run was like 35 million. That was with the advanced animation skip at the very end there. All right, and then now let's look at our score. So I was only being boosted. So I normally get like 34 million here, even with those screw ups. But I suppose Saf stole a little bit of my damage, so that's what happened. So we got like less score. Very important to note that we had like a few seconds left after the 3rd phase, so we could have just killed the bosses a little bit slower here. And then it wasn't really needed to kill it that fast, basically. So now that we killed it once, we can go back and adjust our run a little bit better. However, this is like that was just our highest multi-score for now, and it was our last day doing this, so we didn't really have that much time to adjust, unfortunately. All right, and then that is it for today. So this is SAOMD at the highest level. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned a lot today. And that'll be it for today, and see you next time.